Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laugh. Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh. We are back.
We're back in Monkey Barrel.
Monkey Barrel Studio, another temporary studio record.
Yes.
Well, the ongoing monorail is built next to the next to the studio, and today in Edinburgh we are joined by the fantastic Robin Grainger.
Hello, Robin.
Hello, how are you? You all right?
Very well, thank you for joining us. Long overdue.
Yes. How you
That's
doing?
very kind. I'm all right. I'm a huge fan.
Long time listener.
First time caller. Yeah, it's sick. I love it.
I tell you what, I'm a fan of, Robin. Your get up. This outfit,
This old thing.
This is nice for an audio listener. We can describe it. I
Listen,
suppose.
if you're on Spotify, it's the fucking video now. Switch over to the video if you're
Yeah,
audio.
watch it.
But Robin, you're always wearing like quite snazzy gear, I would say.
Thank you. That's also a word that I think should be said more often.
Snazzy.
I've
Yeah.
been saying it,
Bringing
but
back snazzy.
I don't know. I just wear loud, particularly like when the weather's a bit. Like we all live in Scotland, and when the weather's miserable, so
Yeah.
if you wear brighter stuff, it's that psychological trick.
So you're using clothes as a kind of sad lamp.
Yeah. I can't afford a sad lamp, but I can afford a jumper and egg on it.
With an egg on it, that's cool.
Aye.
I like it with boats on the trousers.
Yeah, we
Rocking
sail
it.
boats, age appropriate, just turned 37, baby.
Is this because you wear stuff like that on stage as well? Is that a conscious choice? Is it? Because I was told when I first started from Stu Murphy that you shouldn't take away attention from the audience of stuff that you're wearing. Just wear plain clothes.
The mime theory, like face and hands.
Yeah.
Robin's he's trying to distract them from his
No,
audience.
that's why I don't do well at gigs. That's why That's why no one laughs, because they're busy going, where did you get his jacket from? No, I don't know. I just started wearing like louder stuff. Like when I started, I don't know if you guys wore, like it was always like suit jacket, like t-shirt, kind of like.
You want to fit in, but then it's like you're kind of young, but you want to look a wee bit older.
Also, I think you want to put out your personality as well, and like an audience straight away, if you walk out with something like a hat on or something, they'll kind of get your vibe straight away. I think that's an easy way
to be a bit more memorable.
Yeah.
So you want people when you walk out to go, this guy smokes a lot of weed.
Yeah, exactly. I genuinely was walking along, and I was wearing these trousers. I was walking along this last week or whatever, and these two guys on a wee electric scooter like started like just cruising alongside me, and like you can just see the eyes and stuff. All right, big man. And I'm like, I'm not big man, but and then the guy went, do you want anything? And I went, no, thank you. Have a good day. And then I kept walking. I was like, I'm a respectable member of society. I'm a grown up. I can vote. I can do all this. And I looked down and they're like, you've got fucking boats on your trousers. You look like a walking advert for mushrooms.
do you know what's nice about that? Right, that's like an analog form of like getting algorithmic adverts in it. It's like, you know how you get like adverts for fucking Huel or whatever. If you're a certain type of cunt. Like I like the fact that they're like doing it in real life. They're scouring for people who just look like the kind of cunts who would buy some a quarter ounce or whatever the fuck.
People who bought this also bought this. Try to go to the shop. But yeah.
Exactly.
When did you start comedy? Because I think you were maybe a wee bit before us, or at the same time.
Yeah, a wee bit before. I started in late 2010.
Right. Okay.
My first gig was a competition heat.
Yeah, was it? So you think you're funny?
It was Scottish Comedian of the Year. They did
That was your first ever gig?
Yeah, they did a heat in Aberdeen, and I was in college studying acting, and some of my course went, you keep bleating on about stand up, like in the wee smoking breaks and stuff, like obviously in this special, that special, all that stuff. So he sent me a link, and I clicked it, filled out the form, and I had 4 days to write 7 minutes. And I wrote it, did the gig, got through the semi-final, and just kind of kept doing it.
Yeah.
Doesn't say a lot about the standard.
No, it does not.
I just wrote 7 minutes in 4 days and never done it before. Semi-final, baby.
Yeah.
That's a League Cup ass competition.
Yeah, I was pretty chuffed, but yeah, it's had a lot of
That's great though, man.
Yeah. It was a weird one to do as a first one.
Yeah, that's quite a crazy decision to do like a competition as your first
But
gig.
you don't know anything different, do you?
No.
Especially when there's a heat in Aberdeen, if there's not as much going on up there and stuff like
No,
that.
there's nothing really, and like you guys will have felt this. It's like walking into like a new club or like joining a gym and going in the like everyone seems to know each other and they've all got banter and stuff. And I just remember pacing up and down and up and down. I think I did wear a suit jacket, and just panicked.
I know.
And it went all right.
It's funny that because I always remember like going to the Halt Bar and it was like as you say, it was like everybody feels everybody else knew each other, and I suppose as well comedians aren't the greatest welcomers in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like when nobody's kind of going, oh, like, how you doing, mate? What's your name? This is how it works or whatever. You just kind of need to sort of speak when spoken to until about 6 years in. Headliners start talking to you.
No one told me what to do, so you're getting told fuck all.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That was gig number one. Then I just kept doing it, and it was Ray Bradshaw who told me to move down this way because he was like, you don't really have an Aberdonian accent. Like it's a small kind of scene up here. You can travel and stuff. So I just like first 6 months I was doing like 12-hour round bus trips just to do Red Raws and stuff. To do 6 hours in the megabus, do 5 minutes for free, and then right, see you later.
I know.
I always get demoralising as well, like straight away. Like you have to be.
Yeah, but it gets you in that mindset of like it's a solo job.
Yeah.
Like when you do competitions, you'll find a lot of people will like bring their mates if it's like an audience vote or that, and then they get through. And it's like I always thought, yeah, but you can't bring your mates when you're gigging in like Salford or fucking wherever. So you kind of get used to that mindset of like writing on the bus.
Totally. Well, the whole thing in a way is like trying to be as if you're funny with your mates, it's trying to be that way funny to strangers, basically, innit? So if you just fucking bring all your mates out there, it's like pretty dangerous.
You're always going to win. And it's such a weird concept, stand-up, because you're walking out, like you said, to a room of strangers, and you're going, within the next 5 minutes, you're A, going to want to come and see me again, and B, like buy me a pint or whatever. And that never happens in society. You wouldn't just walk into like a Tesco and go, we're going to be best mates and I've got 5 minutes to prove why. It's like the weirdest elevator speech in the world, stand-up.
Aye, that's true. And so you were studying acting up in Aberdeen?
Yeah, I studied journalism at uni, did that, and then that summer, I think I got drunk and watched a Jim Carrey film, and I was like, I want to do that. And again, I applied late to the course, somehow got in, did the monologue from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where he just lists drugs.
Yeah.
The lecturer was kind of weirded out by that, but then I made her laugh, and she went, oh, you're exactly the type of person that should be on this course. So I did that, and while I was doing that, I started doing stand-up.
Brilliant. Nice. There you go.
And how was the journalism? Because you've done...
Well, I never done journalism, but I wanted to be a journalist.
In a word, shit. It was print. It was print with journalism or something. So it was learning about printing presses for 3 years. Then you get to write like an essay about tabloid, how if it bleeds, it leads, and legal journalism and stuff like that.
This obsolete medium.
And then, well, that was it, because I graduated, fucking flung the hat in the air, so to speak, and then print media just fucking died. So I just got this old certificate.
We teach you about the steam engine for a few years.
Let's learn about locomotion. And then because I'm so stupid, I was like, well, digital media is kind of like print media. Surely if I can write, I can type. But instead of that, I just went, let's just do acting. Let's enter an industry where I'll never get a job rather than one where I might.
Aye, I know.
But it was fun.
Yeah. So are you for like the middle Aberdeen, or are you
further up, Port Soy?
Right.
It's like 50 miles north between Elgin and Aberdeen.
You've got to have a joke about that. You're a soy boy.
A soy boy. Port soy boy. Yeah, I'm a soy boy for life, man. Through and through. It's a wee fishing village. There's like 1,000 people and 2 surnames, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Everyone's related. Everyone works on fishing boats. I was seen like weirdly because I went up 2 weeks ago to visit my mum, and I walked into the pub and the guy went, oh, there's a comedian. There's a comedian. But now it's in a nice way and they buy you drinks and stuff. But it used to be like an old Western, like the music stops. Oh, it's that creative boy. This fucking stupid egg jumper.
Was it sort of like, oh, you're trying to get above your station type of thing?
Kind of. And also just...
You ain't get too good for fishing.
It's either fishing or Ian Jess up here. Because Ian Jess is famously...
Who's Ian Jess?
Played for Aberdeen Football Club. He's famously from Port Soy. So every gig I do in Aberdeen and say, I'm from Port Soy. Ian Jess.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Not him. But yeah, so maybe it was that, but it's also seen as so different, like as a thing to want to do.
Aye.
It's not like, because going to uni there is like a big deal, you know what I mean?
Aye, well that's it. Like if you're kind of like breaking the mold just by doing that, then,
I think I was the first in my family to go to uni like with my surname, like the whole way. So I had to graduate because otherwise I'd fucked it.
Us Grangers aren't readers, son.
We're still learning about the steam engines.
It's like that bit in the Elvis film. He's white. He's from Port Soy.
That's exactly it. It's a lovely wee village to grow up in. but there's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
2 pubs, a shop kind of vibe.
Have you ever done a gig there?
Yeah, I did one last year, and it's this, like, I've been gigging for years, and it's the scariest I've been.
Yeah.
Because it's like gigging in a bad dream, like to all your high school
Everybody you
bullies
know.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
You
And
know.
it went really well, which was strange because when it was like a couple other acts and I was doing it. It was sold out in the town hall or whatever, and like people were getting up and like going to the bar when the other acts are on. I'm like, I'm gonna get battered here.
Yeah.
But they were really nice.
But do you think it was because you're like the local boy and they were there?
I think so. They were really nice. I put up this thing on social media. I don't know if you've ever been like that far up north, but there used to be this drink called Murray Cup.
Right.
Which is made by Sangs, this like not brewery, but factory, and it was this kind of like mixed fruit kind of tropical. It was all the rage in primary school. Pogs, Pokemon cards, Murray Cup. You're set for life in school, right? And it got discontinued, and then it got brought back last year, like for like a wee limited period. So I jokingly put up, and there's also a thing in Portsoy called butteries. Have you ever had a
I've
buttery?
had a buttery,
Rowie,
yeah.
they're called in Aberdeen. They're like lardy cake thing. It's like a heart attack biscuit, and so I jokingly put up on social media, I can't wait to do the show. It's sold out. I hope you all bring along butteries and Murray cups so that I can like feel a bit nostalgic. And I walked onto stage and the stage was just littered with butteries and Murray cups. I just walked back with kilos of this stuff onto the train. So it was lovely, but it was so scary. Have you two ever done gigs like?
You'd ask for some weed as well.
That would have been all right. Have you two ever done gigs like in your home?
We both have
towns?
done kind of gigs in our
Local pubs.
respective local pubs that aren't too far from each other.
really?
We've got away with it both times, I would say.
Aye, it's like you were saying,
it's
like
proper
I was shiting myself because
Yeah.
I was like, if my school bullies over there, or like people I went to school with,
Aye.
your friend's mum and dad
Aye,
seeing you for the first time.
like your parents' pals and all that
Aye.
sort of stuff.
Even
aye.
like the one that we done in your
Aye, my
place
local, aye.
was people that I used to serve in the co-op who didn't know that I did stand
know.
up and going, oh, I didn't know you were like heckling, saying, you do stand up.
I know.
It's such a weird experience when people aren't expecting to see you.
Aye, and it's like I remember I borrowed a set of lights off a comedy promoter for that and stuff just because like but it's like it's not really set. They've not got the shit
Aye.
that you need for. And then we got the mics back. We got like Raymond and Big Gary. Fucking
That's right.
to
aye.
do that time, and then I think the other time it was
Probably-
Roscoe and somebody that's been cancelled. So
Yeah.
it's not gonna that. But,
Probably shouldn't mention his name.
But it was like it's one of the ones you're like fucking. Aye, this is a backs to the wall job. But like we are used to doing those kind of gigs in other pubs and bowling clubs and whatever.
Yeah.
But when it is your version of that and you know fucking every cunt, you're like it's the
Feel
most
extra
high pressure. Like,
yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
biggest pressure I'd ever feel if I'd done Clydebank Town Hall,
Yeah, because
which I have actually done before.
someone's doing that.
Oh, aye.
What's the guy called?
Oh, somebody pure random, innit?
He used to be on live at the Apollo, and he was like kind
Is it
of.
no Henning Wen or something like that?
No, it's, who's the Aussie guy?
The Germans are coming back to Clydebank. Finally. Apology for the Blitz tour.
Is that Aussie guy Steve?
Steve
Hughes.
Hughes,
Steve Hughes.
aye.
Yeah, because he's doing it with Naz. I think he's
Oh,
doing the
really? He's in
Breakneck
Clydebank
tour,
Town
and they're doing Clydebank Town Hall.
There you go. Well, there's a plug for that.
Did he not fall off a bit? Let's move on.
Yeah, that's no one. But this way, if we'd booked him for our gig, we wouldn't be mentioning him. No, but aye, it's always funny with the local folk and folk for your school and all that. Because suppose what were you like when you were younger? Like, were you quite quiet and stuff? Or were you-
Yeah, I was a shy little weirdo, to be honest. Like I was born super premature, so I looked even worse than this. You know what I mean? Like, I looked,
You'll grow into yourself at some point.
I will. But like, yeah, so I was never good at like. It seemed like you had to be good at like football or fighting.
Yeah.
And I was good at neither of those things.
yeah.
So I just that way of like it's a cliche comedian thing, but like making the hard kids laugh or whatever.
Yeah.
to try and
Aye.
fit in. Just used to read a lot. Really.
Yeah, I know, aye. But that's because it's funny, like sometimes people go, I would never have imagined you'd do that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But actually, a lot of people that were shy and all that kind of shit and would read and whatever, obviously end up getting into the arts or whatever, the fucking some degree.
Yeah, because you're just in your own world for kind of safety, I suppose, when you don't really fit in. So, and that's
Yeah.
all stand-up or creative thing is like building your own world and being like, this is my.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And if we could fight or play football, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, I
So
wouldn't
you
be doing this.
you
If I
wouldn't
could-
be
if
able to do
I've
this.
long argued this. Like, I remember we done a charity. You were playing in that game, the charity comedy game, you fucking years ago now. We were all wearing the Scotland tabs. Is at that place in Tory Glen?
Aye.
You were there.
Was
I'm
it
sure.
there?
The charity football game
Was that the one?
Clutha?
Was that the one Gus came on and just
I can't even
took
remember.
someone out?
probably.
I think so. It
like
was for the
warm-up.
Clutha.
But I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
getting
Maybe I
interviewed.
was through there.
I mean, getting interviewed at the side of the pitch, though, and they're like, "Oh, like, James, I thought you'd be good at football." And I was like, "Jink, if I was good at football,
Why would have been done?
I wouldn't have any. I wouldn't be having to resort to having to tell jokes."
I always would have you marked as a phenomenal football player. I don't know
Nah,
why.
of
You
course
just got
not.
the stature and the.
Nah, man.
Yeah,
Nah.
you've
That
got
was,
the
I
physique.
never had the skill. I never had the
Aye.
skill. I think I read the game well, but I can't translate it to
It's a reading.
You're
Reading a bit, yeah.
but I should have stuck. I think I didn't. If I'd stuck in, I could have. I probably should have been like a centre back or something. I always tried to be left back, but left back
changes. Come on.
But
Come on.
my mate, whose dad ran the team, and he was also better than me. But he, I would never get picked over him. Obviously, and then I was just shite anyway.
It's an uphill battle.
I
But
started
also-
a wee bit too late, I think, in terms of like getting into it properly.
But I think if your dad
And I
is
got a bad knee injury, otherwise I went.
of course, of course.
Premier League, easy.
Yeah, but if your dad is like the coach, though, I think you're probably the most picked upon, or like he's probably most hard on you because
Yeah.
you know that Fitbit
That's
kind
my
of thing
boy,
where it's
that's
like,
my-
aye,
you gotta be-
you've got to be
you
the
gotta
best,
fuck
and like
Especially like given the nature of like people of our parents' generation in Scotland, like the trauma that they were putting on to their
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
via the medium of football.
Aye.
Like
Yeah.
it's just like, come on,
this is all I've got.
my
Yeah.
dad part me, so you
Yeah.
better fucking, if you don't score, I'm going to tell you. You know, like,
Better help doesn't exist yet. Put these shin pads on you, you cunt.
Aye, every single one of like every sort of football coach in Scotland, like up until recent times, needed men's mental health.
Aye, 100%.
Absolutely.
They did
It
therapy.
was the only outlet they
Absolutely. Like the blood pressure of these men must just be insane.
I know.
So it's like
Constantly raging inside.
Just,
Let out of you,
it's
keep
like
you
that,
up.
that CMB joke that he talks about. It's
Aye.
like just the dads like
Yeah,
screaming at the other fans, and it's just because they're like,
because they want a hug.
yeah, they want to say, just want your dad to say I love you. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
What was great about that joke though is it did unite all Scottish
Rangers
football
and
fans
Celtic
against
fans.
this.
No, it was so funny, the backlash. No sectarianism anymore. They
No,
just
that-
all go for Steve.
That was
cured
it. Now, speaking of viral success,
Oh yeah.
Robin, of course, some people may be going, what the bloody know that guy? BBC News, have I heard of it? Robin, you, of course, were a worldwide viral
Is that fair to say?
sort of story.
Yeah. I suppose so, yeah. It was weird.
Would you like to? I don't want to sort of like kind of. I don't want to bury the lead, but I don't want to spoil it either. So would you just like to tell us the story of what happened?
Yeah, so we'll do the Fringe. It's like a big marathon of a month, isn't it? You do 30 shows, 25 shows. Opening night, you kind of want to be good, don't you? You want to get off to a good start with
Yeah.
it or whatever. You've been writing it for 3-6 months. And I remember I was at the
4 days in some cases.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know. If the Fringe was in Aberdeen, I would have won the award. No, so I was gearing up to go on first show. I'd written it. I was really pleased with it. Waiting backstage, the tech came out and was like, "You good to go? Do you need anything?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't need anything, but could you just let me know how many tickets were sold?" It's first Friday, first Fringe since COVID as well. I was like, people are going to be here in droves, man. They need to be at the house. People are fed up with Zoom quizzes, all that shit. Could you let me know the ticket sales? And my tech winced. He went, 1. You sold 1 ticket.
You're like, sales is
Yeah,
optimistic.
I was like, is there a new variant? There must be a new variant because this is ridiculous. And then I decided to just go do the show, like go out and see what would happen. I walked out and there's one guy sat in
Can
the.
I ask where was he sat?
He was sat in the middle.
Aye.
Really?
Like he'd obviously
So he was
walked in, he had a
expecting
good
other
seat,
people.
what a good vantage point. So I don't want to get picked on if I'm in the front. But
And what's going through your head when you're told there's one person there? Are you like, fuck, I need to pull this, or are you like, fuck it, let's do it?
I like paced about for like I think I had 30 seconds to make my mind up, and I paced
So
around.
you
going,
did
I saw
cross your
one-
mind
I
take.
saw one ticket. I saw one ticket. I saw one ticket. I've been doing this for ages. I mean, what the hell? And then I went, oh, let's just see what happens. I walked out and I asked the one guy. I went, this might be a different show today. Do you want me to do the show? And he said, if you feel comfortable doing the show, you do the show. So I did the show. Did the hour. It went well.
Do you know fucking no, it'd have been amazing. See if you're like, right, okay, what's your name, mate? What do you do for like fucking nonce?
Just
pick it on this one guy.
Straight in, you Tory pedo. So funny. Put your jack on and fuck off. No, and the show was how it was. We had a laugh. Obviously, didn't do much of the actual show.
Did you kind of just treat it more like a conversation, or were you actually doing the bits?
Yeah,
or?
I did do bits, but I did just, it was a lot of band, because it's so difficult. Like, I know loads of people have done it to one or whatever before, but it's like really,
That's hard.
it's fucked
I've
up. It's
never
weird.
done it to one person.
Don't do it. Like, it's...
I've done it to. I remember they used to do some lunchtime gigs at Yes Bar during the Glasgow Comedy Festival. And I'd literally run for. I'd do it on my lunch break because I worked in town at the time.
That's amazing.
And I done it to 2, and they were actually nice because they were just laughing. I done it to 3, and it was shite.
Yeah.
Because they weren't.
Three's a
And it's
crowd.
and even because we always sometimes you go a big full room that's quiet sometimes isn't as good as a half full room that's up for it, and like I found that between 2 and 3 people, like actually 2 that are up for it is better than 3 that are shite. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's a good
it's
one.
always in like a
So you do a sort of weird bit of math with it, don't you? So I did the gig.
Was he laughing out
Yeah,
loud
like proper laughing to the point where I remember being stood on stage going, I don't even think it's this funny.
No, but fair play because he's
Like, I
got
couldn't
to-
believe they stayed for the hour, because
Yeah,
I
that's-
wouldn't.
So you
Like,
done a full? You did the full
full
hour.
hour.
You didn't like
did
cut it.
No, did the full thing. I think it was 61 minutes, I believe.
You overran.
They did an encore.
Jesus
no,
Christ.
yeah, and then I left. Well, he left, and then I left, and there was a reviewer in to see the show after me, Ryan Cullen from the Scotsman, Kate Copstick, quite a legendary sort of figure in the industry for terms of, especially on like opening weekend. If Cullen did get an amazing review, and it sets you up because she's got that kind of power. And she spoke to Mike, the audience member, and he gave me like a good review. And then she came up, spoke to me, and said, "Oh, it takes balls to do that. I just spoke to your audience." And I was like, I didn't know that was a word. That's me depressed for a new reason. Like, it genuinely is. It means one audience member and or listener.
Audience.
So yeah, she put up a Facebook post the next day, and it just went mental. 3 days later, I got a phone call from the BBC News, like, we heard about it. And I did an interview with them, and then half an hour later it was the 3rd or 2nd most viewed story on a BBC website.
Wow.
Obviously the war was first, but I'll take silver.
Yeah. Which
In terms
one?
of viewership.
World War II. You're
Ukraine?
still talking about?
Yeah, it was Ukraine.
Nah.
I need those clicks.
You beat
aye.
Gaza though. No, it was before that.
And then it just went mental. So in that month, in the first week of August that year, I did, I think, 50 or 60 interviews like across the world.
Wow.
So I'd like be doing like radio in Canada before going on to do my show, to then come off to do like nighttime radio on BBC 5 Live, and
Aye.
it went mad. The whole thing's kind of sold out off the back of it.
That's
really?
amazing.
Wow.
And then Mike, the one audience member, snuck into the final show, sold out show.
wow.
And as I was like shaking people's hands and people wanted photos, "Oh, you're the wee boy in the news, get well done," and like all that. I just saw this guy come out smiling. It was Mike, and I was like, because I had to add the story of it all into the show as the month went on for context. It was like, who's there? Because they've read the news.
Totally.
Hey! Like, so I had to do it. So I told the story of it. And Mike came out smiling, and I went, "Why didn't you mention that you were there when I referenced you in the show? You would have got like a standing ovation or a round of applause or something." And Mike just went, it was beautiful. He went, "I just wanted to see the show with an audience."
With the other audience.
Phenomenal, all the other audience. But yeah, he comes back every year
That's
and
great.
sees the show. And
What was his story? What does he do? Is he a journalist or something?
he's a radio producer. I think he worked for Heart, huge Virgin as well. So he gave.
yeah, well, it would be to come to your shows.
Hey, there we are. Could have used you that day.
He's a huge virgin as well, as you said.
Jennings is on his
Smashing
Joe
it.
Rogan shit today.
Smashing it. So yeah, he's a radio producer, and I think he has had sex.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know,
He's on Shagger FM, I think it is.
whatever it took for me to keep there for an hour, Robin, I'll not ask any more questions. That takes Kate Copstick, that takes some bravery to suck off your only audience. We're having fun.
This is some laugh.
Some laugh, you know.
But yeah, so that was the story. It was mad, but it was kind of cool.
That's great. Well, I think what that speaks to, Robin, is because obviously
Mental illness.
Well, I think what it is like, because I think what I understand about Kate Copstick heard and like is despite the fact you just had that one guy in, you're committing to the material, which is what you do every gig. I always admire the fact that you're like, you just will let, there's an act out, there's a big act out and whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes like, when an audience are quiet or there's not as many in or you just don't feel like it's hard. It's really hard to just go for it, and you often do kind of cop out a bit. So I certainly do.
Yeah.
But you're good at just totally committing and fucking going giving it your all every time kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of play every gig as though it's going really well. I suppose. But like also it is a good sort of philosophy of like when you turn up to a gig and there's like a smattering of people there or like music's coming like bleed through from a different room.
Yeah.
And I always think to that. Well, I've done a show to one. Like not arse now.
Aye,
you know
that
what I
was
mean?
almost like it's
like
never going to get harder than that.
Yeah.
Especially doing it because even to do a sport.
Yeah.
But a whole hour to one person,
hour
like you
is
can do fucking anything.
Aye. So
After
I kind of
that.
use that now as my barometer. I remember after that Fringe ended, turned up to do like a mixed bill show, and I think there were like 6 people in the other acts, and they were like, "There's only 6 in. It's like 3 couples. What the fuck? This is going to be rubbish or whatever." And I was like, "This is 600% my my kind of demographic."
Yeah.
No,
So it lets you kind of chill out a bit more.
Aye.
And I think that's a bigger thing with stand-up of like, it's good to take it seriously in terms of the craft and the writing and everything and selling your jokes and, writing on the bus or the train or the car on the way out, I've got a tag, got this or that. But like, you should also like, you're meant to just be having fun. Like we do this because it's fun as much as it is a job.
Yeah.
Like
100%. Well, I think it's like a case of like taking what you do seriously, but not taking yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Because I think just the nature of like podcasts and being comics and talking about comedy a lot. Like I think obviously you're always verging in danger of being a wee bit sort of self-aggrandizing or a bit too navel gazing or whatever. But like ultimately, it's like as you say, it's all about like the jokes and figuring all that out. But then like as soon as you kind of get like, oh, us comics, we're a different breed. We're like, we stand apart from sitting. You're like, come on, fuck, we're just the same. We've all just worked fucking call centres and fucking.
I know, we're just people.
Whatever, just people that
It's
fucking
ridiculous,
have got
isn't
neediness issues or whatever. the fuck.
That is it. Like we need to be higher up and louder than everyone else. It speaks more to us than it was too clever for them. That stuff must have been too. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. They didn't like it.
No, exactly.
Like it's fairly cut and dry.
Well, that was like again to go back to the whole bar. But I remember there was always people then that were just like kind of like shy, like, but they would do like back then there was people like. Obviously, like Frankie was very in vogue then, so like the classic kind of like open spot thing you do, just to do loads of shocking humour or whatever.
Be edgy and just be a bit sort of.
Yeah, that was when I started as well. Everyone was like, "We want the next Frankie," and I was thought, "Well, there is one." Like,
Aye, exactly.
He's amazing at it.
So then, when I remember them at the time going, like they would come off and they'd be like, "Oh well, I was just a bit too edgy," or they couldn't handle it or something, and it was like, "No, you're just shit." And then so now when you see like fucking world famous comics that are like having that same excuse because they're like, oh, the fucking woke mob or whatever, and you're like, no, you're just doing the exact same thing as fucking open spots by going like fucking you listening to the audience and they tell you if it's fucking funny or not. And if it's not, then you figure out something to make it laugh or don't do the fucking bits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, do something different, try something different.
Yeah.
It is just that. It's like they didn't like it. It's not that you're too smart for them. Oh, it was a layered joke. It wasn't.
No, exactly. I know. Aye.
Shite.
Especially when the content is usually pure, like,
it's one of those,
some lame fucking gay joke or whatever the fuck. Do you know what I
it's
mean?
like a trigger word or a.
Aye, exactly.
Like, these people do this or that, but all that.
Aye.
It's like, no, it's just shit. I've heard that at like a Gong show in
Aye, exactly.
2015 or
100%.
Yeah.
But were you always like that then, be like committing to stuff, or did you kind of need to learn that?
No, I kind of from the off kind of went for it. Like when I like something, like I go for it.
Is this your acting?
Do you know what I mean?
Your
I
acting school, did you learn
don't know.
that,
But
yeah?
even before at school, like we were speaking about football, like I started skateboarding, and I wasn't particularly amazing. I can still like do a wee kickflip here and there.
Aye.
But
Well, I mean,
but I
if
used
you the way you dress, if you couldn't skateboard,
I know.
the question's getting asked.
I look like the Steve Buscemi meme. Like, hey, fellow kids. But like, I used to skateboard for like 12 hours a day, get buses to like skate parks in Elgin, Aberdeen. Livingston skate park was like world famous back in the day. So like I used to put in the time and just be competent. So I thought, well, if I'm doing stand up and someone's giving me money for it, because it still baffles me that we get paid for it. Like we've been doing it for ages, but the fact that you can keep your lecky on from
Telling jokes,
from something you've written in your phone notes and going, that's pretty funny, and then it becomes an hour or a show at the Kings or whatever. Like it's phenomenal. So don't take that for granted and like put the work in.
No,
so I've always
100%,
kind of committed to my detriment, because like if you do one liners and they're not going for like 5 one-liners. You can just keep doing them, can't you?
And you kind of, I've always
But if
felt
you commit to a big bit, you're kind of it. We're all aboard
You're
the
in
journey,
it,
and this
yeah.
might crash in a way.
Totally,
but
because I think one-liners sometimes and I think that's why a lot of people start out deadpan is because it can be a bit of a sort of shield.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I'm not putting myself out there. I'm just, it's these jokes and these wordy things.
Yes.
But if you're committing to a bit and you're talking about your life and you're,
Yeah.
you know, describing this fucking thing that happened to you, you're fucking in it, and it's you, and you kind of you're sort of balls to the wall with it, aren't you?
Yeah, I remember because I do like touch upon some topics in fringe shows like mental health, and I spoke about being born premature and all that stuff, and grief and bigger issues that shouldn't really be funny, but it's like it makes you chuffed when you make them funny. But I would do previews and people would come out like crying from the previews because of like because of the subject matter, and it makes them think about a relative or someone like that.
Yeah.
So you then have to, and I never went on social media and went, oh, the woke mob can't hack my dad jokes, you fucking pussies.
Yeah.
I went home and rewrote it to make it palatable.
funny. Yeah.
Well, that's part of it, and I've obviously spoke about like losing a parent and all that as well as you obviously mentioned there. Like, how have you found doing that kind of material? Like, obviously, in a fringe show, you've kind of got the scope to do it, but it's just it's a process of refining it into it because I always felt like, on the days when it didn't work, even if it's like sometimes it's just like it's a Monday, they've no drank as much, so therefore they're no laughing as loudly. But it doesn't necessarily mean th're no enjoying it as much. Sometimes in then like
smilers.
But you feel like when you're unloading that stuff, I always felt like if it wasn't like kind of getting the reaction, I felt as well you're just going, oh God, I just depressed those fucking people.
Trauma dumped in a room with strangers who've got work tomorrow. Yeah, like it is that like fine line of like you want it to be as funny as possible for them, but you need to get that shit out. It's like a really cathartic form of dealing with trauma. It's like turning into something positive or having like, make it at least, or just saying it, because so many people don't say it and they walk around like a bottle of juice that's been fizzed up and not open yet and then explode when they're 50 or have an aneurysm or something like that. Whereas saying it on stage, particularly for a month, or it sets and sets and sets, regardless of how awkward it might be for a little bit before you fine tune it and you get it in a way that's deliverable but funny and not just trauma. Because that's how it starts, because you just have to say the words. Then it becomes really good. It becomes fun and cathartic, and it leads to kind of more positive reactions. Like you yourself, you probably get messages from people off the back of some of the stuff you spoke about, and I do as well, where, oh, you made me think about this, that, or the third. So they go from walking out crying at previews to like messaging you after the tour show and being like, oh, you made me think about my granny or whatever.
Totally.
It's really nice.
I know, and it's weird because like it's a bit more kind of, to an extent, high risk, high reward, because the risk you take is making kind of go, because if you just do a bit of observational stuff that doesn't work, you're kind of like, well, that bit just didn't work. But if you're like going, my fucking mum and my dad died, and you're talking about that and that doesn't get a laugh, then you're going, fuck, as you say, they're just trauma dumping. But then when it does go well and you do make it work, it's a lot more rewarding, because people do get in touch with that kind of thing, and you like, I always felt like when I would talk about it, you'd feel a change in the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And you would feel people were like, it was almost like you could hear them listening more.
Yeah, there's a kind of meerkat energy of like, you feel them like, more.
It really does sort of change it. So it's a nice thing, and it's cathartic. But I always felt like I don't need this for me. I just want to make sure that if I'm talking about this, I'm not making the audience feel uncomfortable.
Of course,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that should never be the case. Because they've paid the money, hired a babysitter, parked a car, had an argument. They want to laugh.
Exactly.
And make them laugh.
Make them laugh and make them cry.
Exactly. So you want to make you still need to realize you're doing a job as well. You're not just, you know what I mean? Because if it was for you could just go to counselling or whatever.
100%.
You need to make it funny.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a weird, pardon the pun, 180, but I would like to ask you more about skateboarding.
Okay.
I just don't really know much about it, other than at the time
Tony Hawk
it
games.
was big in Tony Hawk days, which presumably was
that was
part
like
of
the
influence.
era. Yeah, that was the era. Yeah, we all just started doing it. It was all like the weird kids who couldn't really play football or that. We started just meeting up and skateboarding, and you'd get the bus through Elgin, go to the skate shop.
So
and skate
arguably a harder skill to master than actually play football. Like if you're saying that you couldn't play football, but so you went to skateboard.
Flips. I know. I don't know. I think it's kind of like stand up though, because it's solitary. You're just in a driveway at your house or whatever with like a wee light on, trying to do kickflips and hurting yourself over and over. But and my auntie used to live in Edinburgh, so every second summer I'd come through here and visit her from up the road. And there's a skate shop here called Focus Skate Shop. It's on the Royal Mile, and I used to go go there and just drool over all the expensive hoodies that I couldn't, because I'm like council house kid, so I couldn't afford a 50 quid Osiris hoodie or whatever.
Yeah.
And then and then just kept doing it. And then this Fringe, it came full circle because I made merch for my show, and Focus, the skate shop, printed it for me. And then we donated like half of the money to a mental health thing, half to a homelessness thing. But it was then we made it. So I was like, so I kind of am sponsored by a skate shop.
There you are.
Like, without actually being any good at skating. But yeah, I was obsessed with it. Tony Hawk's, everything. It was like...
Who was your favourite skater apart from Tony Hawk?
I really liked a guy called Eric Costin, who's phenomenal. And Artur Sari is this amazing Swedish guy or Finnish guy.
And
loads of them.
Would you say that?
Who's the guy from Jackass?
Bam Margera, yeah, huge Bam Margera. So
he was in the big game one.
He had a whole level in one of the Tony Hawk's Underground. He had a whole level of like his house with the like mad stuff from Viva La Bam. I love it. I still watch clips and stuff like that.
For Jackass,
and just old skate clips.
That was it was a phenomenon one time. In the day,
he's off. He's not Bam Margera, isn't he? Is he just? Was that him who battered his dad all the time?
Yeah, I think he's better now though. He's like a lot fatter now, but he started skateboarding again. He was like addicted to drugs.
Yeah,
that's right. Nominative determinism, but for a word that they don't use in America. You're a fucking bum, Roger.
Hello, just a wee reminder that we are on Patreon. You can sign up for as little as £3 a month. You get hunters, and I mean hunters, of bonus content. You get an extra 2 episodes a month. You get access to all the live show recordings, access to
behind the scenes footage.
Behind the scenes footage, early access to tickets, all of that stuff, don't you?
Absolutely, Stephen. And of course, we also have Some Laugh merch on sale. You might be seeing on my head the Some Laugh cap.
Beautiful.
That, and much, much more, including t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, mugs as well.
Mugs.
All up there. So if you don't want to be a mug, get on there and get some Laugh merch right now. And patrons do get a wee discount as well if you're on the Patreon. So an added incentive for you there. So hopefully see you guys over on the Patreon. See you maybe wearing some merch out and about.
Maybe.
And aside from that, enjoy the rest of the
Today's episode.
Is there anything that you remember for your skating days that is applicable to stand-up? Because I would imagine there's some element of being in the flow state and all this sort of shit, being in the zone kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe it is that just hyper-focused on one thing. But I just think...
Trial and error maybe as well?
Trial and error for sure, and just the reps that you have to put into before something works. Because it's so sore when a bit of wood and metal smashes you in the knee or you roll an ankle. I remember a mate of mine we were skating one day, and he this huge, it was like an 8-foot tall wall, and he was just all in off it, jumping off it, and he broke his ankle. But he was so good. He still skateboarded home, kickflipped his wee set of steps on the way home. He was just a nutter.
Jesus
he woke
Christ.
up the next day and his leg was like...
Because what is sorer, right?
Fucking
yourself up on a skateboard, or the emotional pain of
that's such a conundrum. That's a real philosophical quandary, that. I would say skateboard.
Physical pain over the emotional scars.
Pain. Emotional pain you can kind of drink away. Kind of.
Yes, I know. That's true. So that's why you stuck with the stand-up.
That's why I did stand-up. Yeah. It's sore. I was never phenomenal. I was never jumping down sets and sets of steps, but it still hurts when you fall on your face.
I can imagine. So was part of you were mentioning drinking the pain away there, like was part of like getting into...
Do you have an alcohol problem, Robin?
No, but I mean, like, I know back in the day when you started it, I remember...
This isn't even my jumper. Woke up on someone's kitchen table.
It was like back in when we started doing it, that's part of doing stand-up was the sort of social aspect of it. I remember you shared a flat with like CMB and all that one year, Gareth March.
Yeah, the Fringe, I was a mad flat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a fucking crazy ket den, basically.
And then we moved it.
And I remember staying there one night and it was just like a fucking... It was like
we were all playing some mad game, like kicking a ball into a thing, weren't we?
Yeah.
You had to do shots as a forfeit.
Did you actually live there at the time, or was that just for the Fringe?
Just for the Fringe.
Aye.
So I'd moved back up the road, and I had the Fringe to do, and we found this 3-bed flat, me and Muchie, and we were both in on it, and we're like, who else would go in it? I was like, should message Roscoe, he'll maybe do it.
Right.
And I messaged Roscoe, and he was like,
most mental criminal.
Well, this is how beautiful he is as a human being, because he was like, well, I'll only be through weekends, so it's kind of redundant me, renting paying 500 quid or whatever for my share of it. I'm only going to be there 2 nights. And I was like, oh, fuck. Right, well, we might just have to pay more then because we had the show in. And then Roscoe came back like an hour later and he literally said, it sounds like it's going to be a thing. I'm in. And that was it. And then CMB stayed there through the week. And then Roscoe would stay there.
That's so CMB as well.
So where did he
pay for it?
Nah, I don't think it did. So where did he go at the weekends? Was he just staying in Roscoe's bed with him?
Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of like you said, yeah, wee bunk beds made up. But no, because like you said, it was like quite a busy flat socially, wasn't it? There's always people there, so I don't really know.
Because I just remember that night, I think, was it CMB was just writhing on the floor, calling himself a slug, and he was like, throw salt on me. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. I forgot about that. Call me a slug.
I'm a worthless slug.
Holy slug.
Slug, I
should be paying rent.
You know, Chris, he was going through a lot back then. He was a troubled teen.
Yeah, but it was a good flat. I remember I got booked for a Radio 4 gig during that Fringe festival, and I think it was the day after, like, we were up to like stupid o'clock, like drinking and all that. And I woke up and I remember blinking and being like, this isn't, where have I ended up? Like, it's really dark, like where? And I'd fallen asleep in my wardrobe, like in there. It was like a slidey door wardrobe. I woke up just like shivering, so hungover in my wardrobe. And I had this, and then I had to run to the stand to do this Radio 4 interview, but like, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Waking up.
I'm sure Miles Jupp was doing that as well, you know?
And who was the inventor of QI was there. That's
funny.
who I was gigging with, John Lloyd. And I was like just ruined from the night before and having slept in a wardrobe.
You get the fear of that. After I won the comedy award,
BBC Comedy Awards,
during the Fringe the next morning, I had to 8 o'clock in the morning.
I remember
I had
that
to
because
do
we were saying the fact that year.
radio interviews with like all these different people, and I was still absolutely fucking steaming when I first went there. I just gradually throughout the day getting more and more sober and hungover, trying to do these interviews, and like I couldn't even remember half the shit I was saying in the first interview.
I'd love to see the last interview that you did where you're the most broken.
Just giving the most.
Why they'll never let a Scottish person win it again.
But that's what we do though. If something like you're saying about like drinking to fill emotional pain from having a bad gig, like if you have a bad gig, you would have a drink when you first started, and if you have a good gig, you have a drink. It's just like the weird Scottish way, isn't it? Of like just.
Especially like, 'cause what age were you when you started?
21.
Right, so it was still relatively young, and like, so obviously like your kind of relationship with alcohol in a way is tied in with doing gigs and all the rest of it. And like, do you think like, as that developed as you've got older and you've learned how to compartmentalize it a wee bit? Or
yeah, I don't really drink anymore.
Aye.
Like, and I still sort of envy and can't believe people who drink before they go on.
Have you
You
never
used
done
to
it?
do- you used
I
to
used
do
to
that?
need to have a pint before I go on. I'm fine now, but
I think I had one before that first one in Aberdeen because I was so nervous,
Yeah.
and I've done a gig like a bit pissed at Tea in the Park. It's like you're in the right
allowed.
environment for it. But no, I can never, because I was always worried like I'd forget or I'd do a punchline and not have done the setup or repeat. So I was always, but yeah, you kind of learn to manage it because when you start, and particularly when you first go full time and it becomes your living, you're like, well, every night's a Friday night, you know?
Exactly.
You smash a gig, everyone stays at the comedy club bar till 1, 2 in the morning, you drink with the staff or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that becomes unmanageable. Like where you're just either hungover or drunk.
Yeah, and you're
Then you
getting
have to
older
kinda-
as well. You can't be
so
doing it every
I
night.
remember doing that a wee bit in the beginning, but then I put a stop to that fairly quick.
Oh, did you?
How was Tea in the Park gigging there? That must have been cool.
Shite. Awful.
Shite? Was
Yeah. It was, I would say...
That's what get it shut down.
I've I did the last one at the old one, then the first one at the new one, and then it changed to Is it changed to Transmit? Aye. So I was, the worst one was I was on opening, and you've done comedy tents at Music Fit. Like, it shouldn't be there. It's not the point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't watch porn for the comment section of it. You know why? You're at the wrong place. Like, so I went on and I was opening. I was in 20 minutes, and I just died to like just casualties of humanity. Like there was someone just dancing like on his own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like a lady with a dog. Don't know if it's her dog. Like it's all just shite, and it was going really badly. There's a photo I put up, and there's a guy literally like lying back on a sun hat, just boredly watching me just eat shit.
Yeah.
at one point, one guy shouted, "Play Wonderwall!" And it got the biggest laugh of the 10, right? And I'm such a people pleaser, and this is probably why I do a show to one person. I start to sing Wonderwall. And then I got a wee Wonderwall thing going, all the comics behind me waiting to go and just die and laughing. Because the best thing is to watch your mate die.
Yeah.
But they still had to go.
That's probably the best thing to do, sing Wonderwall in that situation.
I was like, all right then, that's what they want.
You may as well.
You got to play to the room.
Yeah, exactly. Was it busy? A busy time?
It was like I always likened it to like the medic tent in Saving Private Ryan. It's just like forms of different degrees of trauma kind of filtering in. And we did one year where there were some really big names on. So like a big name comic would come, the tent would ram up, and you would hate to be the person on after the big name, because that's when they'd all disappear and go watch like
Eminem
bands,
or something like that,
Pharrell or the Streets or whatever.
Yeah, I did do the Transmit one this year, and it was good actually because they had it on dead early.
Oh, nice!
So it was like, and it was almost like people just like, it was a good start to the day. I thought that was a good show.
Yeah,
like we came on and I enjoyed it, and then I was hosting, so I was getting a few folk on. There's like a cardboard cut out of Lewis Capaldi behind the stage. So it's like Lewis Capaldi's on and stuff. And then, but no, it was actually really good. And but what was on after it was the Bongos Bingo, and see for the last kind of 10-15 minutes. You started to see their crowd coming in and going like, I think it's good to wrap up. And then obviously the music starting on it. But the start of the day, there wasn't as much distraction. So
that's quite good.
It was pretty good, actually.
Imagine seeing the stream of Bongos Bingo.
I know, it's
on the horizon, like wrap it up.
The guys,
Bongos Bingo's coming.
Actually, the Bongos Bingo's guys themselves are they were brand new as well. But like, I obviously
it's
like fucking the people that are like coming in to see it, they're there for a sesh. Do you know what I mean?
It's a mad thing.
Aye, but you've obviously opened a lot, as has a few folk that we've had on, particularly obviously Gareth Much, but you have opened for Tom Stade quite a bit.
Yeah, I've opened for
Tom. We always enjoy hearing people's experiences with Tom.
Oh, one of my favourite ones, the first tour I did with him, we were doing Swindon and Bristol, and there was something wrong with the wheel of his car, and he was driving about 1,000 miles an hour as I try to fill up like a weed vape thing, put a CD in, and like talk to his agent and talk to me about like Alan Watts at the same time. Of course. What'd you think about the id, man? But like,
become who you are, Robin.
Yeah, and we're driving like barreling along this motorway, and the car just suddenly just went like that, and I shat myself like a normal person would. Tom's standing next to me, still with sunglasses on. He just drove, and he's like looking kind of at me, and he went, "You almost died there, buddy." And I went, "But you would have died as well." And he went, "I'll never die." And so it's all mad stories like that, but it's just such a fun time. We went for a roast dinner with some of his fans on the day off day.
How was that?
Of course you did.
We were in Bristol, and he just tweeted saying like, "Hey Bristol, we're here. What's there to do?"
And
like someone went like,
"Who's coming to the Toby Carvery?"
We went to someone's house. Like,
what?
They invited us to their house, and we went to their house in Bristol. We went to their house, and Tom bought like 1,000 beers from a shop, because he was like, "You can just buy booze wherever you want. They've cracked it here, not like Scotland." So we bought loads of beers, and we went to watch John Wick 2. And I remember we walked in, and the person behind the counter was like, "What seats would you like to sit in, my love? What seat would you like?" And he was like, hey Tina," sunglasses still on. "Hey Tina, why don't you choose our seats?" "Oh, I would go for the middle. You've got quite a good view in the middle there, you two." "No, front, Tina. We'll do the So we sat steaming after a roast dinner like that, just watching John Wick with like a neck injury.
That's amazing.
That was fucking awesome. I'm like, was it? But he's the funniest.
Yeah,
like,
it's amazing.
So to and just to watch him like blow the roof off like his tour shows and stuff is like I love watching him.
Aye.
Does they do the classic where he gives you tags to tags you can never use?
Yeah.
To your
Be
jokes.
brave, Robin.
He did that same thing to me that you spoke about with Muchie, I think, where he's like, "Go on there, say fuck off for like 97 seconds," and I'm like, "No, why? Be brave."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
shitbag,
because
Robin.
it's not my audience, and be like, "No, wanna." Okay, I respect that.
So you never.
No, I don't think so. I think I went on, got right into it. But he announces yawn, so he goes like, "This buddy of mine, this little crackhead guy's coming out. We've been on the road together. You're gonna love him. It's Robin." And then you walk out and you do the wave and you take the mic out and you go, "Hey, how you doing? You well?" And he's still like chatting to them. He's like, "Clap louder at him. Keep clapping."
See what I mean about the crackhead thing?
It's phenomenal. It was a good reference, wasn't it, Salford? But yeah, I love him to death, man. I love him to death. I love writing with him. I love one of my favorite things about Tom is watching him do new act nights and like working when you watch him build, because he, like we're speaking about commitment to bits, like he just commits, and it's beautiful to watch.
One of the most I think about this all the time. I seen Tom. He was closing the stand in Glasgow on a weekend, and then he was at Red Raw on the Tuesday and he'd basically done the same act, and I was a bit like, I wonder what he's getting out of that, like doing like the stuff, because he surely he's here to do new stuff. But there was one thing, and he was talking about the UK, and he goes like, and by you guys I mean Scotland, England, some of Ireland, and then like I got a big laugh, and then when he was leaving I heard him say, he's like, that's some of Ireland, but that's, and he was like, as long as he can get like one line, and you do that every gig, and then suddenly you build up a fucking act pretty quickly, like, and I was like, wow, that's so, it's just that incremental building up thing, rather than, because sometimes it's not that way, you go to do new material and you think, I need to
do 10 new bits,
a whole new 10, or like, because obviously you need to fucking start with something, you know, and then sort of sandwich it in, and not everybody knows that's what you're meant to do, but like, you always fall for that thing of going, I just need to fucking try out completely new, but it is such a fucking incremental fucking, you know, inch after inch kind of way to get to a new act,
proper Lego blocks of like, oh, that one line, or you'll maybe, because it's new, you'll say something that you hadn't thought of saying, and then you'd remember it after, and you go, that's the funny bit, or that's the premise really, but I've flabbed around it.
100%.
Just those wee nubs become something. That's what I love about watching when I see both of you when we do gigs, and it's like you're trying new. I love it, because you just, it's my favourite thing to watch people be like, this has come off a notepad, and like,
I'm the opposite of you when I do new material. I do not commit to anything. I'm like, it's me fucking doing this shit.
But I think that is because you're saying like you're trying to do like say 6 bits, so you've got 6 half-baked ideas instead of one like well thought out thing.
Absolutely.
Probably more value of just doing that than trying to just cram 6 fucking
I know,
shit
you know,
bits.
sometimes it's just you doing it kind of throw shit at the wall a wee bit, don't you? But but what is it like writing with Tom?
Oh, it's,
you just get high and then.
Well, I don't smoke weed really or drink, so like I literally just drink a cup of tea.
Wow.
And like you go around. It's quite like regimented, kind of like a day has been like you go around and it's the whole day. You know what I mean? It's writing tags. Just like he'll throw out like a premise or something, and then Much used to do it all the time, and tag his bits for him, and then it just goes kind of around the circle kind of thing. But Much always used to say like, what did he used to say of me, that I'm like Bluetooth for whoever I'm writing with. He goes like, I wrote some stuff and it's good and funny and stuff, but you've got like Bluetooth where you like sync up to like his train of thought, and you do that with like other comics.
Wow.
Like, that's quite a nice compliment.
Absolutely.
I never really noticed it, but
well, that's exactly what you'd want when you're writing with someone as well, you know?
Yeah, but I remember once he was hosting an award at was it the Q Video Music
That's
Awards?
right, we've spoken about this when he met you too and all this.
Yeah, and I was dog sitting for him because that's how highly he respects me. He didn't invite me to the thing. Jimmy Carr was hosting it. He was hosting Best Music Video. So we wrote loads of like music video jokes. And I remember I was dog sitting. He used to stay in like a lovely house in Stockbridge, dog sitting, Lily, his dog. And it was also my birthday, so it was the weirdest birthday ever. Wake up on your birthday, you're looking after some mad dog.
Woke up in the cupboard.
And then woke up in his washing machine. And I remember he phoned me and he was like running jokes past me ahead of like the gig and that. And I was like, mate, Jimmy Carr's hosting this gig, isn't he staying at the same hotel as you? And he was like, I don't care what Jimmy's got to say about it. He said, I was coming Robbie, I don't care what Jimmy wants to say. I know he's here, he's a killer, but I want your opinion. What do you think? And I just love that.
That's great,
he always takes the time for everyone.
Yeah.
Like anyone could go around and write, and like everyone gets the same amount of.
Or Jimmy Carr just didn't want to listen.
Do not disturb on. I will disturb, James.
Hey Jimmy, come back! Oh fuck you.
Gotta phone this guy, make sure my dog's alive.
You've been moving about. You're back in Edinburgh now.
Yeah, back in Edinburgh. We flat. It's all good. Like I don't know. To put it in a nutshell, like things happen in your life, don't they? That are sometimes traumatic or sad or whatever. And I just pummeled myself into like the Fringe show and the work and stuff like that. So it's good to be back in Edinburgh and happy and kind of more chilled out and just gigging loads and getting to see you lot all the time and do gigs. And I don't know, this Fringe is kind of cemented, like this first Fringe since that ropey flat with like Roscoe and all you guys, that I felt like a comic, because I actually got to hang out after gigs and do all the kind of like
you were working and stuff.
Yeah, because I was working like 2 jobs, like 40-hour weeks and as many gigs as I could up and down the country, and then all that stuff. So to be able to just do the Fringe for Fringe's sake and be able to socialise and do like daft late night gigs and all that was phenomenal.
I know one of the jobs you did before was working in a vape shop.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Typecast.
Of course. what was it like? Because we've got a bit of a vested interest in this, I suppose. But
We've got a wee... Can we
I don't even, but we were writing something and it was a bit of a vape shop, and I always meant to be like, we really should message Robin. I'd like to find out what it is actually.
What you need to know. It was a really fun job. Like you just dress like this, like play like Tame Impala or like ambience type music and just sell addictive stuff to people.
Would you get a certain type of client? Like would you get archetypes of different clients?
Yes, so it depended on which. So there were 3 stores that I managed in Edinburgh. So depending on which ones, you'd sometimes get people who just get. I remember one wee old guy came in and he was like, "You got any vapes, son? You got any vapes?" And I went, "Yep, you're in the perfect place. This is the vape shop." And I was like, we used to have like 3,000 flavours. Like, here's bubble gum.
That's the vape shop equivalent of asking in Poundland how much things are.
But like he was wanting a vape, and I was like, we've got custard and strawberry and cheesecake and fucking roast dinner everything, right? And he was like, I just want fags. Have you got fags flavour?
We've got roast dinner with Tom Stade flavour.
And you have to go to Bristol for it in a broken car. But then there was one store in Stockbridge, quite an affluent area in Edinburgh, and then there you'd get proper private school like hipstery types, like, hey man, what kind of vibes have we got today? How spenny. People used to say this to me in that shop.
Flavour.
How spenny is it?
Oh, fuck's sake.
I hate that word, spenny.
Get out. How spenny, man.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, but it was a fun job. It was really, really chill. But yeah, it was quite good. It was quite good, and like I vaped at times, so free.
And
free nicotine, in the shop as well.
There you
Not
go.
during COVID, of course.
Well, because this did come up. Because can people try? People can't technically try like a free sample of a flavour, can they?
Yeah,
because they can't. Because they smoke in the shop.
Yeah, we were the first shops, I think, in Scotland to do a tester bar.
Wow.
Which sounds really cool that you can just sit and vape away, but also people would break the thing or like unscrew it and then vape. Like you'd be cleaning up.
You need to have a Argos to put them in wee chains.
We vape on a chain.
They wouldn't been able to steal it that way. Yeah, loads did go missing because they weren't in a chain, should I say. But yeah, no, it was a really fun job, and you kind of, I don't know, at the time you met kind of, I suppose, different people than you normally would.
Are they not? Are they all fronts for money laundering? No. Not as far as you know.
No, mine weren't. There are lots nowadays. Like you walk through Glasgow, like every second shop's like this big like vape emporium, like vending machines, and it's like Willy Wonka land, like everything.
Aye.
They've taken the American model, like of just
American candy.
Yeah.
Taking over from that.
Nothing wrong with them, as far as I'm concerned.
I do like American sweets.
I don't know. I think I've got to say I get a bit Brexit. When it comes to stuff like,
do you think
some of the best chocolate in the world?
Do you think
chocolate is undefeated here?
Hershey's
but cereal
smells like sick.
Yeah,
do you
it
not
does,
think
and it's
that?
like got
It's
kind of
that,
cementy, chalky vibe.
And I'll still eat it. I will eat it. I'm like a dog when it comes to that. I'll eat my own sick, but like, but it does smell and taste like sick.
Yeah,
that's so funny. You and your own sick going, it's just Hershey's in a way.
And it's we've got better confectionery and loads of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like petrol stations, I've often said. Some of the best service stations in the world.
All roads lead to Heart Hill.
Yes, exactly. 100%. Wellbeing Cafe M&S. Thank you very much. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, but I do think that I know when it comes to British chocolate.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's unbeaten. But I'm speaking cereal.
Cereal, yeah.
So what are you
full of
talking
sugar.
then?
Captain
Like
Crunch.
Lucky Charms,
Lucky
Cinnamon Toast
Charms.
Crunch.
But we not got kind of equivalents to that.
I mean, no, because we were healthier, so we scaled back on Lucky Charms and all that.
yeah.
We took all the sugar out of it, whereas Americans kept it in. Because you used to be able to get OG Lucky Charms when I was a kid. Were like
Well, in a way,
a dream.
That is going to go because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is basically their version of Jamie Oliver. He's
Is
going
he?
to take away all
he's
the
gonna take
additives
away
and
all
all
the
that.
turkey
He's also going
Twizzlers.
to take away like vaccines and a lot of diseases are going to come back. But at least it'll be healthier to eat fucking breakfast.
Aye, but yeah, good to see you love healthy cereal while you're coughing.
I like how you crave. You ever have a crave?
No,
Yeah,
I've
they're like the pillowy ones.
Pillows
with
of
the stuffing.
chocolate.
Yeah,
I think I
Cookie
can-
Crisp. You had Cookie Crisp.
Yeah,
Just biscuits and a bowl in it.
Yeah, I used to eat that shit.
Phenomenal.
That was
I
good.
couldn't tell you the last time I had cereal, to be honest.
Well, you're not a cereal man.
I like it, but I don't have it anymore. I've not had it since I've been young.
Been away. I have a bowl of Cocoa Pops for my supper.
Frosties, I love Frosties.
Frosties,
Yeah,
Frosties
Frosties,
are
honey not loops.
Feel like at a certain age you go from Frosties to Crunchy Nut though, isn't it? That's like
Yeah,
the adult
that's when
Frosties.
when you
Crunchy
start uni. That's
Yeah,
when you've
gotta be eating Frosties at
crunchy
uni.
nut.
Gotta
It's
eating
that
Crunchy
Rhys
Nut.
James joke about how I stopped eating
Goujons.
chicken dippers and started eating goujons.
yeah. It is that mentality. It's the same thing, but you seem more sophisticated.
Aye, 100%. I know. Well, no, man. Well, listen, that probably is about time to wrap up anyway. But listen, Robin, thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers
mate.
for coming on,
So,
Robin.
where are you at with the show or anything you've got to plug generally? Are you touring? Are you doing it at Glasgow Comedy Festival? and that?
I am. I'm doing my show People Pleaser at Glasgow Comedy Festival at the Flying Duck. I just did a tour show in Aberdeen, and I think I've got one in Edinburgh in February as well.
Oh, nice one.
Nice.
Great
Other
stuff.
than that, I just like to plug my Vinted page just to
Yes.
vlog some of this.
Yeah.
Have you
mad
actually
shit.
got one? Aye? Oh, so we can stick the link in the bio.
You get
if,
some old skate
if
shoes
you're-
full of blood.
Yeah, if you're impressed by the drip that
Yeah.
Robin is showing today.
From
then,
drip to shit, baby.
Hey,
yes, come on. there
No,
you go.
thanks so much for
No,
having
listen,
me.
thank you for
cheers
joining
for
us,
coming on.
Robin. Before we go, obviously, just thank you for listening. As ever, please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can follow us at Some Laugh Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And send any question you've got to our email address, which do you know what that is, Stephen?
somelovepod@gmail.com.
Correct. Thanks a lot for
Nailed
tuning in,
it.
guys. And I sign up to the Patreon as well if I've not mentioned that already. Somewhere else there. And we'll speak to you very soon.
Cheers. Cheers, Robin.